All right, everybody, how's it going? It is Tuesday, October 3rd, 2020, and we just finished with Week 8 of the NFL. So, of course, we have to go over our Week 9 NFL pick'em. I would say it was a very, very good week, but I would be lying straight to your face. I went 7-7 in Week 8. Terrible week. Lots of upsets. I would say last week, every couple weeks in the NFL, there's probably 2-3 weeks a year where it's just upset city. And this happened to have been it in Week 8. Tons of upsets. I don't even want to go over all the games I got wrong. I went 7-7, kind of dented my overall pick'em record. I'm 78-40-1 overall. So 78-40, still not bad. Still 66%. Still pretty credible, I would say. But yeah, last week, bad week. We'll just forget about it. I think a lot of us had bad weeks. So let's just move on and focus on Week 9. This week, we are not going to see the Eagles, Rams, Bengals, or Browns play a game. So if you're a fan of one of these teams, you get to watch. You don't have to suffer if you're a fan of the Bengals or a fan of the Eagles, really. I mean, not so much the Eagles, but other two teams, this kind of sucks. You get to maybe watch your division lose. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump right into Thursday night then. Should be an interesting game. We have the Green Bay Packers heading to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. The Packers are 3.5-point favorites with an over-under of 50.5. By the way, the lines are just included here for people who like to use them and see what the lines are. I don't use them for my picks or anything. This is all just straight up, just so we know. The lines are from FanDuel and CBS Sports to complete the over-unders on some of them. But yeah, so in this game, I have the Packers winning. I know the 49ers run very, very well, and the Packers have a problem with run defense, but I think there's 4 running backs for the 49ers now on IR. So I don't even know who they have at running back for this game. The Packers are in a similar running back situation because 2 other guys got COVID, and I believe one of their guys is injured in Aaron Jones. So both of these teams aren't exactly at full health heading into Thursday night. And without Kittle, without Garoppolo, I mean, this 49ers team got even more banged up than they were playing this. If the 49ers had Kittle, maybe this would be a different story because they do kind of dominate the Packers as of late. But right now, I just with how banged up the 49ers are, this feels like too short of a turnaround for the 49ers to be able to get something going. If this would have been a Sunday night game or a Monday night or just a Sunday, I might have gone 49ers. But with how short this is and how recent all these new injuries are, I don't know how ready the 49ers are going to be. We all know Shanahan's going to have them as ready as they can be for this one, but I don't know right now, man. That's too many injuries, too many running backs, quarterback, tight end, receivers. It's just oh my goodness. I'm going to have to go Packers 31-21. Something to note, I've only gotten 2 Thursdays right. So if you're a 49ers fan, you should be happy I picked the Packers. All right, let's go 1 o'clock. All right, let's well, here's a game not many people, unless you're a fan of these two teams, really care about. The New York Giants, 1-7, take on the Washington football team, 2-5. Washington is 3.5-point favorites with an over-under of 43. Basically, I'm going to go Giants because I think they're a better football team. They've played against good teams very convincingly this year, even though they've lost most of them. They still play against good teams pretty well, whereas the football team, I don't know, man. They seem like a lucky 2-5. I don't know, man. I'm not going to pick the football team. I think the Giants' only win was the football team, and they seem to kind of beat up on Washington. Who cares? I'm going to go Giants. This seems like a pretty good game on the surface, but until you remember that the Bears can't really play or do much on offense. We have the Chicago Bears 5-3 playing the Tennessee Titans, who are 5-2. Titans are 5.5-point favorites with an over/under of 46.5. I quite like the Titans in this game. I don't know what the Bears are going to be doing on offense. I don't know if Mitch is going to start, if Nick is going to start. I think that the Saints have a much more porous defense than the Titans do, who are probably going to shore things up after losing 2 in a row to the Steelers and then embarrassingly losing to the Bengals. I don't see the Titans losing 3 straight with Mike Vrabel as the coach, and especially I just don't see them losing 3 straight. I think they're going to have everything focused up and ready for the Bears. I think the Bears keep it kind of close with their defense, but I do think their offense is the cause of their fall in this one. I think the Titans are, with getting Desmond King, that's a pretty big addition. I don't know if he's going to be able to play, but I don't know, man. I think the Titans are just going to beat this team. I really do not trust the Bears offense, and until they make a change, I don't know if I can pick them right now. I'm going to go Titans. They're just a better team than the Bears. Bears have a good defense. Just the offense makes them hard to pick, man. And then we have a game that this pains me to do because I hate the Minnesota Vikings. The Detroit Lions, 3-4, take on the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings are 4-point favorites with an over-under of 53. Lions struggle very, very bad against the run, as you've seen against the Colts. The Colts, I think all their running backs, but Jonathan Taylor had like 200 yards against us. The Colts kind of slapped the Lions up, reminded them who they were. And the Lions kind of remind everybody we're not that good on defense. The Vikings seem to have the Lions numbered. They can kind of dominate them up front. And the Lions can't stop the run. I expect Dalvin Cook to have a big game. We're not going to be able to really. I don't know, man. I feel like this is just a loss waiting to happen for the Lions. So they're going to get the run going with Dalvin Cook. Then they're going to be able to play action all over us. Maybe the Lions get the upset. I just don't think so. Give me the Vikings 35-21 in a small turnaround of their season. It's mainly the problem for me in this game is that Detroit really has problems with the run, and Dalvin Cook just lit the Packers up. So I don't know. Vikings are going to win this one, so it sucks. And then we have the Carolina Panthers, 3-5, taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are 10.5 point favorites with an over-under of 52.5. One thing I will note, the Chiefs have a very good defense compared to the past couple years. It's very, very much improved. And I think teams are not expecting that when they go play Kansas City. And it seems like they've only had like 1 or 2 bad defensive games, the Chiefs. And I don't see them having one here. I do like what the Panthers are doing. I don't think the Panthers are a bad team. I think they're a rebuilding team. That's, they're finding their identity on both sides of the ball. They're coming along. I think the Panthers are going to be good in a couple years, but still, it's a rebuild. It's retooling, refielding that team. And I think this is the worst team you can run into is the Chiefs. Their defense is playing at a very, very high level. Their offense seemed like it was kind of sparking back up a little bit. And this feels like a mismatch. I like the Chiefs to win this 33-20. I do think maybe the Panthers could keep it close, but the way they're playing on defense right now, the Chiefs, if their offense wakes up, it's game over for Carolina. And Carolina's defense is a little spotty at times, so it seems a mismatch. All right, let's go on to the next slate of 1 o'clocks. We have the oh, Jesus Christ. Who cares? Texans beat the Jaguars. This is a good one. This is a really good one because I wanted to talk. I knew it was next, so that's why we skipped that other one. We're not even going to talk about. Who cares? It's some crappy AFC South battle. The Ravens 5-2 take on the Indianapolis Colts 5-2. The Ravens are 3-point favorites with an over/under of 45. I guess you could say this is sort of my upset pick this week. The kind of pick you don't necessarily see coming. It's kind of that well, here's my upset pick of the week, right? The Colts are 5-2, and they're playing pretty good football. They run the ball extremely well. Phillip Rivers is the problem for that offense, but again, he can still have moments where he plays well. Their defense is playing extremely well. I think this is an upset waiting to happen because the Colts just got hit with a couple big things that I think throw this game off a little bit. Losing Marlon Humphrey potentially to COVID and being on the COVID list, he might not play Sunday. There's a good chance he might have to miss Sunday. And they just lost Ronnie Stanley. Now, I'm thinking that the Colts, who are a very well-coached team, very, very smart coach team, are going to take advantage of those two things. The Ravens kind of have this weird, they're good in the secondary, but they can be kind of beat, especially now that Humphrey's gone. I think that's a big deal if he doesn't play in this game. And I also think the Colts defense is going to cook something special up because if you remember the Colts, I believe last year were one of the few teams that were able to beat the Chiefs. And I think they were the first team to beat the Chiefs last year. Don't quote me, don't hold me to that, but I'm pretty sure. They kind of can cook things up in Indy where they can frustrate and wind up beating these type of really good potent offenses. This game feels like an upset because I don't know what the Ravens are going to do without Stanley, and I don't know what it just seems. Also, here's another weird thing. Teams that play the Steelers seem to lose their next game. It seems like the Titans, who played the Steelers, lost to the Bengals, and this continues. If you go look at the teams that have played the Steelers, I think almost all of them lose their next game after they play Pittsburgh. So maybe this trend continues. I just am throwing that out there. Who did the Ravens just lose to? I don't know. You tell me. I think it was Pittsburgh. And so I don't know. It just feels like this is an upset game. I'm going to go with the Colts 30-27. I'm feeling good about that upset pick. All right, here we go. We have another good game. We have the Seattle Seahawks 6-1 taking on the Buffalo Bills 6-2. It's the Seahawks are 3-point favorites with an over/under of 54. I'm going to go Seattle in this one for a couple reasons. We've seen Buffalo struggle against two good teams. They struggled against the Chiefs and they struggled against the Titans. And the Titans haven't really played that great of like solid defense the last couple games. So you're having to wonder, like, what was that against the Bills? What was Buffalo doing? Did they panic and lose a game against a good team? You know, the Bills have struggled against the Jets recently. They didn't beat the hell out of the Jets. They barely beat the Patriots, who are struggling mightily this year. The Patriots are. So I'm looking at these games. I'm going, man, Buffalo's having a rough go at it lately, whereas Seattle just mopped the floor with, you know, they have one loss, a very close game to Arizona. And they've kind of been in a lot of close games, but they're winning them. If this game falls out and turns into a shootout, which it very well could, by the way. These two teams very well could just drop it, no defense, and play into a complete shootout. And if it turns into a shootout, I'm taking Seattle all day. It's not even close. I do not trust Josh Allen in a shootout. He will throw interceptions. He will start overthrowing, making mistakes. That's kind of a young quarterback mistakes he makes. He overthrows. He panics. He gets into big moments and kind of starts becoming wildly inaccurate. This could break out into a shootout, and if Allen was a little bit older in the league, showed me a little bit more that he can play in this kind of a atmosphere of this game, which he has shown 2 times this year he can't. Seattle's gonna win this game 38-31. I think Seattle wins in a shootout 38-31. Remember, rule number 1 here on DirtyRob TV: we don't take the Falcons. I don't care. Till they blow it up and make a new team. The Denver Broncos take on the Atlanta Falcons, 3-4 versus 2-6. The Falcons are 4-point favorites with an over/under of 50. I guess you could call this another upset pick. I'm going with a team that just came back against the Falcons have an AFC counterpart. They're called the Los Angeles Chargers. They do the same thing the Falcons do. They blow every single game that they've led in this year. It's tragic, these two teams, the Falcons and Chargers. But we're not talking about them. But the Broncos seem to be able to come back against teams that are prone to blow leads. I feel like Atlanta's going to blow a lead in this game. Now, you could call me Rob Stradamus because I predicted that the Falcons would blow the game against the Lions in the exact fashion that they did. I'm going to say similar thing, but the Atlanta blows it early in the 4th and then fails to come back against the Broncos. The Broncos have a late game hold in this one. Give me the Broncos 27-24. We don't pick the Falcons here. Let's go to 4 o'clock. Another pretty good game, the Raiders and the Chargers. The Raiders are 4-3, Chargers are 2-5. I'm not picking the Chargers have entered. I'm not picking them anymore territory. They're 1.5-point favorites with an over/under. We don't pick the Chargers here anymore. They're choke artists. There's like problems where they just give up leads. I don't like that. I have trouble picking teams like that. So for right now, I'm going to go with the Raiders, who are playing very well. They seem to be able to beat teams. They're my dark horse pick for this year to make the playoffs. They were before the season started. I like the way the Raiders are playing. I don't like the way the Chargers are playing. I like Herbert. He's a good young player. They're a good young team, but they cannot hold leads, man. That was bad last week. They should have won that game going away. But yeah, so give me the Raiders over the Chargers. Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers 7-0 take on the 2-6 Dallas Cowboys. There's not even a line available anywhere for this game. I can't find one. I got the Steelers winning 42-13. There's not a lot. I'm not going to talk much about this one, guys. Really? Yeah, I'm not kidding. There's nothing to say in that game, dude. The Steelers are going to destroy them. The Miami Dolphins 4-3 take on the Arizona Cardinals in what is probably the best 4 o'clock game this for that time slot. Cardinals are 4.5-point favorites with an over/under of 47.5. I would not do that. I think the Dolphins win this game. One thing the Dolphins are doing extremely well this year is play defense. They have been just dominating teams with what they can do to you on defense, and I think that is something that is going to happen in this game. I think the Cardinals might not be ready for what Miami's doing to teams this year on defense. It seems like these NFC West teams are struggling with the Dolphins because I believe they beat the 49ers, and I believe they also just beat the brakes off the Rams, and now here comes the Cardinals. And guess what? I think the similar thing's about to happen. It seems like this Dolphins team is a force to be reckoned with on defense. Their offense doesn't have to do super much because their defense seems to score a lot of points. I think this is another one of those games. I think they get in the head of Kyler Murray. They frustrate him, and they just play this swarmy type defense and just frustrate this guy. I mean, it's going to be a good game. I have it 30-24. It's not a complete domination. I just think this Miami defense is the difference in this game. And I think Miami's defense is going to be put on the map after this one. It already should be, but I think this is going to be their big statement game where their defense might actually win the game in this one. Give me the Dolphins 30-24. The Dolphins have my respect. Finally. All right, let's go to Sunday night. I can't wait for this game. All right, New Orleans Saints 5-2 take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's right, I said the right name. 6-2 Tampa Bay. The Bucs are 4.5-point favorites with an over/under of 54.5. Now, earlier in the year, I said this is how this is going to go. I said both these teams are going to be very similar throughout the year, very similar records. I said they might both finish 11-5, might be 12-4 now. I don't know. We'll see how it all plays. I said the Saints would win that first game against the Bucs. Now, I also said when I made this pick earlier in the year when it was Saints and Bucs, or Bucs at Saints, I said I was going to take the Bucs later because I believe this will be a split. I think it will still be a split. This Bucs are winning this game. It'll be a split in the season series, which complicates who wins the division when they finish with the same record. This is going to be a fireworks game. I think it's going to be a very fun back and forth game. Or the Bucs defense steps up and dominates Drew Brees. I don't think that's going to be the case. So I think this is a very close game. I think it's a very decent scoring game, 28-34-ish. Not necessarily a shootout, but a kind of like fun back and forth lead changing game where the Bucs take the lead. Again, I think this is a split series. I think the Bucs are playing better football than the Saints are right now. I think Tom Brady's in a very, very fired up mood. I think this is going to be a statement game for the Bucs. Like, hey, we can beat we got to beat this team, and if they don't, they might have to be a wild card team this year. So big game for the Bucs, big statement game. I like them to win this game. I think the reason the Giants played them so well is they were caught looking ahead to this game a little bit. Give me the Bucs versus all day versus Saints, 34-28, in what should be a good game. Monday night, my beloved Patriots take on the Jets. The Patriots are 7-point favorites with an over/under of 41. This should be a pretty low-scoring game. The Jets are 0-8. My team is, whatever. And they should beat the Jets 23-16. I don't really have much to say about this game, sadly. Both these teams are in a bad spot. The Patriots aren't in a much better spot than the Jets this year. We don't have much on offense. Our defense is in a spotty at best at times. And right now, it's just not the year. But they still should be able to beat the Jets here on a terrible matchup on Monday Night Football. Jesus. All right, so there's my pick'em record, 78-40-1, not doing so terribly. But yeah, so those are my picks for this week. I think they're going to do a lot better than 7-7. We went with a few upsets this week, not too bad. I hope you enjoy the picks. I hope you let me know your picks down below. I'll be sure to get back to you. I get back to all comments, good, bad, or ugly, and anything else. If you just want to chit chat, whatever, just make sure to comment down below. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. All that stuff helps grow the YouTube channel. We're getting very close to 5,000 subscribers, so I'm very excited about that. I'm wondering if we'll hit that by the end of the year. Let's see if we can get like 171 likes on this video. That'd be pretty dope. I'm just saying YouTube stuff right now, but we are close to 5,000. Thank you all so much for all the views, the likes, the comments, and the subscriptions. It all means a lot to me. It really does. We're growing quickly lately, so I very much appreciate it. So let me know your picks. I'll get back to you. I hope you have a better pick'em week than I did last week, and I hope you did better than I did last week. Yeah, thank you so much for listening. Have a good rest of your day, good rest of whenever you listen to this, and go Patriots, go Lions. Hopefully I have a better week this week. Hopefully we all do. What an upset week 8 was. Jesus. Peace out.